perhaps inexperience. I think the nerves potentially have gotten to them. They've climbed to the very top of the rung very quickly, and then we're forced to just somewhere live up to this expectation. But we are on the field. Falcons in blue, Rule 1 in orange. And we're going to be here perhaps for the long haul, as the best of 7 of the grand final sure is going to provide us with some entertainment.
It's the experience versus the irrepressibility, but the experience comes through almost immediately off the rip. It was actually a double commit out of the net, but Khalid picking up on the loose touch, finding Ahmad with that run off the wing as well, coming inside to put that one away nicely. Rule 1 stunned straight off the start.
Yeah, you could see that there's just confusion among Rule 1. Amazon drops the ball. Really needs to now save the face as Falcons open up the scoring, because they have the vision of the field and they have all the smarts about them as well. I want to see what Rule 1 answers. I'm pretty sure it's going to be quite a swift.
They've got the lead, they can sit on it should they so choose. An early demo sees once again Falcons find possession pretty easy going. Infield pass forced to give it up here to Rule 1. Roas goes up high, backboard dealt with nicely by Khalid. Here's Kaliers going to the floor, actually picking this up with a attempted doink over the defender, but not going to find much joy here. Pushed back to the halfway line. Kaliers once again picks it up, once again finds a blue player in front of his passing zone. Roas now, up he goes. Khalid once again finds a touch. This one progresses forward, however, through the corner, but there's Ahmad once again to deal with it. A little doink forward. Roas is going to be able to get there. Falcons simply too fast for Rule 1 in the midfield right now.
Rule 1, you would imagine, they are, to me, they were, again, the youngsters, they're always zippy fast. And yet, Falcons, I keep calling them like veterans and everything. Yes, perhaps in some ways, compared to the Rule 1 players, but by no means they are slow. They are really, still remain one of the best players in the region. So I think Falcons are just measured. They're going to be using their pace in a measured fashion, as in with patience, waiting when they can go, but when they go, well, you better believe that. Like Khalid just did. Crossbar, not enough.
Mosen, deer in the headlights, struggling to kind of run the idea and the algorithm through his brain of what to do. It's eventually a bit of a harmless flip. Unfortunately, the hype wasn't there, and so put away by Khalid. A 2-0 scoreline locked in as we near the 3-minute mark to go. Falcons using the momentum, using the boost that they've received here from that close-knit Cola series to really put Rule 1 in their place. They have not had much of a look at net. Every single shot opportunity has been closed down by a super active Falcons defense, and it's the counter-attacking for me. It's a different look to the Falcons that we'd expect. We'd expect them to dominate the game, but we'd also expect them to deal with that based on the 3 minutes that we have seen, Jam. They haven't, and Roas has brought Rule 1 back into it.
You could see Falcons all chasing that ball, but the positioning was not right. The spots as they were in the field, this replay especially, just shows this is a thinner moment. Not necessarily triple commit, but a triple chase for Rule 1, and we finally see Rule 1 in action. Just one, and with Falcons open up the scoring, I feel like it's easier for Falcons to hold the score than for them to chase Rule 1. And we saw even previously, the moment the Rule 1 started scoring that series versus Vision Esports, it was over. It was over. Literally up until the point that Vision Gaming scored, Vision Esports, again, apologies, has scored the goal in the third game, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
It was just tough. Turk, nope, he's on the spot, and then they immediate counterattack, and not quite.
Good shot opportunities as the play opening up in the midfield was tight to knit thanks to the Falcons, but it just seems like with that goal from Rule 1, the purse strings have been let loose. Rule 1 a little bit more room to work with here, whereas the Falcons starting to panic a little bit. And in truth, let us be clear, Rule 1, this first goal, yes, of course, Roas had to shoot on target, but it was a mistake from the Falcons defense that allowed him in. Kaliers now doink over Ahmed. There's TRK, up he goes and throws it to the far corner. A demo on TRK will at least make this a two-man defense in the short term. Ahmad intercepts Kaliers. Mosen, that's given up quite cheaply here. 1 minute 40 left, and Falcons still hold the lead.
A long clear. Khalid is looking to do everything himself. Nobody immediately on the backboard. This spike can work out wonders for his teammate. To go, Mazen and Waz, they're both on the line. Attack denied. Ahmad at most can play interference, and actually he does. He is not shy about immediately challenging Rule 1 in their own side, as since he's pretty much the first player and everybody is behind him, so he could have at least pop a 50 and working the ball in any other ways. Everybody goes. Nobody really gets it. And once again, Falcons with a long clear, perhaps not the powerful one. This time they decide to go for control, and Killers just does not know what to do with it. Ahmad bottom right.
Yeah, for being brothers, Kalias and Roas with a bizarre miscommunication. They both fumbled right underneath the ball when it was lofted up in the air, and that gives Falcons all the time in the world to not just get down the pitch, but try and organize themselves into, okay, what's our attack vector here? Ultimately catching out Kalias on the line, going far post. Rule 1 not doing themselves any favors. This is as weak defensively and as uninspired offensively as we have seen them throughout all 3 days of this MENA Winter Open. And yet, are we to expect anything less from the Falcons? They are the team with the most experience. They are the team that this region aspires to be like. That Rule 1 is hoping not just to imitate, but to fully eclipse. And yet, 30 seconds left. Falcons, from looking totally uninspired, inspiring themselves to a potential 2-goal lead.
And I admit, this was from... Already? Turk! What a touch by Turk, and Falcons just consolidate their lead in this game number 1. This is not the start I necessarily expected. When we were talking behind the scenes and asking like how close this is going to be, I said not really close. Not with this start. I was going to give it to Rule 1. The chat gave it to Rule 1. Again, reminder, 70% of the viewers said that, yeah, Rule 1 is going to take it. And now, 1-2. I think I can... That excitement that Relic is dropping, I'm loving it. 17 seconds, though. Do you think there's a chance?
Probably not, but let's just appreciate the shot. My goodness me, load in the bullet, pull up the scope, and fire away. My goodness, wonderful accuracy from Kalias, and it's creativity that they have been lacking, Rule 1, for the entire 5 minutes. That 5 minutes has now elapsed. We find ourselves with our ending scoreline, unless there is a late twist in the tail here. No, defended away nicely by the Falcons. They're going to pick up game number 1 here in a reminder, best of 7. Reminder, $9,000 more on the line here for these teams. Falcons, previously Samrock Gaming, they've already accrued plenty of moolah in their time in the Rocket League scene, and now one step closer to yet another decent share of the pot, Jam.
Well, oh my. This is something that I generally did not expect, but it's Ahmad stepping up. In the previous series versus Cola, he has been absent. He has been low on goals. He has been just not really presenting like what we would expect from him. And yet now, look at him go. The whole team have stepped up, and nobody was really dropping anything. Like these shots, you can see replay going over and over and over. Khalid cleaning up this one on the field. Turk in just a moment, I think, is going to be making his presence. Oh, no, sorry, that is going to be the Rule 1 versus 3 attempt. There's the Turk and his teammate Ahmad. Everything was going right for Falcons. They found themselves, all the while Rule 1, their series versus Vision should have been going differently, and yet everything is topsy-turvy, Relic. Everything is topsy-turvy, and I'm not sure what to expect from the series other than entertainment and excitement.
So here's the thing. We, of course, have the enjoyment of casting both MENA and SAM regions here on the Rocket RB. And you'll forgive me, I hope, for dipping a little bit in with a SAM comparison here. That was a very team secret performance from Falcons. It wasn't particularly flashy. It wasn't particularly exuding excellence in any department. They just got the basics right, and Rule 1 seemingly faltered at their own footsteps.
Ooh, right from the go, Falcons immediately bring the ball on Forgotten Temple to their opposition's net. Did that go? No. Rule 1 and their opponents immediately exchange with a couple of shots incredibly close to the net, but not enough to really make a mark on it. More and more touches from Rule 1. This time they are want to be the team that starts the scoring, going to be the team that wants to be playing sort of from ahead. But right now, with all of these demos, nobody really getting the opportunity. Feels like whoever starts with something. That is a whoa indeed. Oh, Khalid tucks underneath the defender, gets the opener for Falcons. Rule 1, once again, are forced to chase. I
think for the first time we could say, oh, Khalid, what a play. The swivel around mid-air, the go-ahead bump, the go-ahead goal. Falcons. Now that was exuding excellence, and once again, Rule 1 find themselves one down within minute number 1. They seemingly cannot seem to string together the sort of performance, even at the midfield line going forward, that we've expected and seen from them today. They are faltering at the finish line. They move forward with a bit of purpose here, but once again, that defense too strong, and TRK clears the lines. Look at this, the double tap. No, Ahmed can't put it through.
This has been a beautiful opportunity, but Rule 1 in place. Although you could see that a lot of these saves are just in the nick of time. The defender comes in, and chances are the play would have gotten any differently a moment ago, and the defender would have not been there. But still, Rule 1 in place. The speed, I think we're already in 6th gear, and only the limiter on the car is what limits these teams and players of going as fast as they possibly can. A bit of a slow play in the middle of the field. Killers not getting anything. Khalid 1v1. Khalid, ladies and gentlemen. This is a threatening name when you're going versus them solo. But then again, everybody on the Falcons is an incredibly accomplished one player.
TRK, he's looking infield. He's not able to find anyone this time, though. At least for me, Jam, the thing here is that Rule 1 defense has been so leaky that surely this is the first foundation block that you need to find, because look, they're struggling time and time again to break out of their own half, and yet Falcons, whenever they move forward, not only is it with purpose, but they are incisive. They find those shots away. Would you tend to agree with that, or as we hit the halfway mark, is it just a case of Rule 1 having to fight fire with fire?
Honestly, Falcons right now are finding all of their openings and utilizing them really well. They're not being held in any part of the play. They're not being shot down by Rule 1 in no means, although those demos coming out, I feel like if Rule 1 perhaps pressed a little bit harder and Falcons will not be able to find an answer every single time, this could disrupt them. But right now, yeah, maybe the fire is going to be those physical plays on the side of Rule 1, because right now the gameplay as it is on the field, I'd say it's mostly has been Falcons.
Khalid down. Difficult bounce for Ross to deal with, and so once again that blue wave rides forward. Bump Ahmed looking for the drop down. Lovely work here from Mosen to throw it away. There's TRK once again moving up forward. Lovely shadow play in general from the Falcons, looking to try and smush it in top post. Khalid stopped and away to the side it rolls. Rule 1 struggling under pressure. Ahmed with another infield pass. Rule 1 practically on top of each other as things stand. Falcons, meanwhile, spread out, looking for those boost pads all over the place. They are always filled up and ready to go. That attack being recycled more than the bins on a Thursday. 1 minute 30 left, and Falcons still with that lead.
Rule 1, I'm just not seeing a solid game plan from them right now. Honestly, I'm not even seeing them held onto the ball for long periods of time. Mazen might find something on it, but Ahmed cuts the rotation straight in front of him. And so Rule 1 cannot get anything out of this attack either. An individual play, perhaps? Again, this is also in heaps and droves from Rule 1. They can work it out. There's a player of Rule 1 in the net, at least was. But Falcons are in place, and the net, the ball was not hitting anywhere dangerously in vicinity of the net. So as we enter the final minute, Rule 1 are still looking for something. Ahmed might actually mess up his teammate. It is working out well in their favor. Rule 1, though, I think they want to make that blue side of the field their home for less.
Us pop up. TRK so quick on the midfield line. It's the hold-up ability that we see from the Falcons that is really just smiting Rule 1 before they're even able to think about, okay, let's get a shot on target. Would be interesting to see what the total is. Potential there, but Roas has been dispossessed. Khalid has completely danced around Mosen and danced his way, shimmied his way into a 2-0 lead for the Falcons. Rule 1, it's like trying to read a book in a different language.
Mazen, you would think that he was in a good position to receive any sort of 50-50 that would bounce his way, but a clear butt of Khalid completely nullifies the Rule 1. Already committed every single other player right for the ball, and there's no doubts they need to push. They absolutely need to push, and they wouldn't have taken these risks previously in the game because it was still close. They were still looking for any other avenues that would not present themselves just with a belly up. But the belly up was being thrown. The clear from Falcons was strong, and right now, out of this time, nothing is going to help Rule 1 to make it into a W. No, Falcons collect a second one on a drop. Go 2-0 in the game, 2-0 for Falcons. I wonder if we're going to see a timeout, as we've already seen a couple today that were straight after the second game, and the team that has been losing wanted to immediately fix the things. Timeout rule 1 indeed.
Timeout rule 1 indeed, and I am not surprised, because that has been 2 tepid performances in a row where they, simply put, didn't look like scoring. And when, as I said, that one goal that they did score in game number 1 was of a Falcons mistake. Falcons have dominated across this past 10 minutes, and it is really a surprise to all of us, I would say, given how excited we were about Rule 1, not just for today, but they're running through the group stage and the playoff as well, looking like a real tour de force. And then I'm sure, as we rejoin us, I've been, I've had to, have a clean of my glasses, because I can't quite believe what I'm seeing. Or maybe we should have always trusted in the Falcons process. This is exactly what Falcons do best. The moment that they look like they've fallen off their high horse, or that perhaps finally the Kings will be deposed, they somehow find a way to wrestle back the crown. Again, they've only lost 1 regional. It was to this team, previously known as KRN, with Nada minus Mosen. And I'm not going to say that Nada is the game changer here, Jam. I think we've already said Mosen got plenty of good qualities himself, and yet they're stunned. They don't know what to do.
Right now, well, they're currently taking that break, and it's needed. It's sorely needed. Long gone are the beautiful connections between Killer and was Mazen, who I've praised to be a player who has been just fit into that roster perfectly. Has not necessarily been noticed, and the whole of the roster, we've been praising Turk, Ahmad, Khalid. We've been seeing their individual presence on the field, as well as those passing plays. Again, everything, the whole set is there for the Falcons. But same cannot be said. Same cannot be said about Rule 1. They are just not showing up in the same fashion. So right now, this little bit of a break is much needed, and I think they're going to take it in stride.
I hope so. I don't want to be going home at the end of this series saying, oh, boring Middle Eastern Rocket League once again. Oh, the Falcons are winning. Water is wet. Tell me what's new. Well, hopefully we have a new perspective from Rule 1 as we enter game number 3. Of course, every 5 minutes does start at 0-0 on the scoreboard. And so Rule 1, for the moment at least, will find themselves with no goals scored. That's looking for the Doomsy Dunk, trying to find a way out. The Doomsy Dunk, yeah. Trying to find a way to transition out here, Rule 1, and they have at least found themselves with a little bit of time in the enemy court. However, they give up possession way too easily. TRK with a fish on target, and Achilles forced to knock it away at the top right. That a little bit better in regards to clearance, but Rule 1, it seems to be that they're trying to overcomplicate things in their own half. Dangerous when Armad is... Oh, look at that strike! Another shot rattles the top 90.
You can see, even as Rule 1 are trying to set up for the Falcons clear, Falcons are already one step ahead of them and are positioning their players up for the attack. Everybody is playing with, like in chess, 5 moves ahead. And it's incredibly important that right now Falcons seemingly have that game under lock. No immediate opener, so that at the very least gives Rule 1 a bit of an opportunity. Shot wide by Rawaz, who has the control. Easy shots on the target, not exactly what Falcons would want to give. And right now, for the first time in a really long period, Relic, we're seeing Rule 1 in blue side of the field, where Falcons cannot immediately find a clear. And we've seen thousands of Rocket League hours, and you know that this is not going to bode well for the team defense.
And they're flapping about, but Rule 1 are fluffing their shots, hitting everything but the goal mouth as things stand. And hey, look, oh my goodness me. Oh my goodness me! TRK with 1-0 and Rule 1 at his mercy, and yet wasn't able to score on an open net. Rule 1 with a massive let-off. I was going to say this is the first game, actually this series, where Rule 1 have not conceded in the first minute. Almost conceded in the second. Might still, yes, and Roas with a school as you like. Brings it away, but still dangerous here from the Falcons.
Is it an opportunity for Falcons? Who do they have in the center? Oh, Ahmad just doesn't have the control. Gives it to Turkey. Rule 1 are forced to throw bodies at this problem, and I love this little hand up. Due to how cameras were setting, I do believe that Rule 1 were seeing who was on the ground. Hurt was coming on in, but as the first shot came in, they needed more after that, and they just did not have them. No matter how many defenders in the net, Falcons disassemble the setup from Rule 1.
It's that 1v1, but working as a team aesthetic that we've come to love the Falcons for. Ahmad casts Attract, manages to catch the attention of 2 defenders. They don't keep an eye on TRK. The fake was beautiful, and that should be a goal. Kalirs rattles the woodwork. Motion, the shot too soft. Roas trying to go through the corner. Lovely pass to Kalirs. Lovely shot, even better save. TRK puts on the cape. Here's Roas now, looking for the drop down. Leaves it, but Kalirs bumped out the way. TRK with some 400 IQ.
Bean, there's going to be needing to be even smarter in that situation. This series is still not over. There's still more brain plays to be coming. Mazen, to counter it, but he's getting cut off. Even these beautiful setups, all the tactical display right in front of us, flip resets, looking for a teammate, just not working. Falcons cannot be brought down. Mazen, that's going to be very high and mostly straight in the hands of Falcons, who are using a lot of resources. You could see 2 players committed to the backboard. Mazen cannot make a connection, and while Killers is going to be getting this in the end, though, there's still 50 from Turk, and it seems like Rule 1 are almost being given a bit, giving their opposition even a little bit too much space. And Falcons are very happy to just drop down.
Oh, dear.
Either the first one needed to come in, or the second one needed to make a touch. Is this on target?
What?
Okay, well, I mean, something common between me and Ahmed. We missed those.
Excuse me?
We missed those as well.
Okay. The Falcons going for a charity drive, it seems. Letting Rule 1 off the hook not once, not twice, but thrice in game number 3. The ball ending up a bit of a harmless traveller into the orange half. There's still 70 seconds left. If Rule 1 can find an equaliser of sorts, then A, they probably would have deserved it based on the amount of chances they created. Also B, Falcons are going to be kicking themselves. 60 seconds now remain. Roas forced to start from square one. Ahmed intercepts, continues its forward trajectory. Sideways, up, and 1 at the midfield line by Mosen. TRK going sideways. Roas looking to stop him. Does so through the corner. Up he goes. Little boost. Manages to get a piece of it. Falls not so kindly for his team. However, straight shot on target. Mosen to the side.
Sorry, just read a comment in the Twitch chat saying MENA is weird. All other regions right now are throwing a couple of weird teas in the mix. Have you seen North America? Folks, have you seen Europe? You know, even South America right now is behaving well, so this is just yet another move, and this is Falcons we're talking about, folks. Falcons. You think you can count them out? They come back in. They absolutely come back in.
Falcons using their experience again to demo, to disarm the counter-attacking threat. There was another demo. Roas has got to be quick. They're stumbling over the idea of who's actually going to take the shot. Mosen avoids one. TRK on the backboard misses it. Somehow, Rule 1 still present, still relevant. Kalirs goes up. Sideways, still got boost. Roas through the corner, 2 on the side. TRK through the side. Kalirs backboard, looking for a demo. Akali looking to spike this. Doesn't spike it. Roas still up. TRK lingering on the backboard, the ball. O'Carlin still can't put it down. Oh, it's still up in the air, would you believe? Roas, but finally Ahmad steps in. Massive clearance. Kalirs keeps it up. Ahmad leaves it. Falcons, what on earth is this? Match point.
Speechless, absolutely speechless. We were heading towards a record of the ball being kept up. And the stat line, O'Connell somehow completely... I don't want to say absent. By no means he was absent. But in this game, for one player to come out with less than 200, just means that Ahmad and TRK put the whole weight of this game on themselves, and they needed to, because you do not come off easy versus a Rule 1. By no means you come off easy. There's the one goal of this game that hasn't happened, and besides the saves, there was nothing then to show. Falcons were even, we called them like gentlemen. We call them, oh, that was very nice of them not to score multiple times. Still, it could have been Rule 1's game, especially at the very end, but the imprecision, really, the execution on some of these setups were not what we would expect from Rule 1, and the moment that doesn't come through, I don't want to call them basics, they're really hard to pull off, but still, if that doesn't work, oh boy.
That was real clean-up in Isle MENA vibes. A reminder that Rule 1 have now gone 15 minutes without scoring a goal from open play. Their one goal, effectively a triple chase, as you called it, Roas couldn't miss. But apparently, according to Ahmad, turns out you could actually miss from that sort of angle, from that sort of open net opportunity. Rule 1 have already used their timeout, Jam. Not looking good, is it? They have failed to address so many of the issues that have plagued them across the last 15 minutes.
Well, we've seen in the previous series between Falcons and Cola that Cola pretty much were standing on a match point, and then Falcons have started taking one after the other. 3 match points by Cola in that series, by the way. It needs a miracle. First and foremost, there needs to be an open goal from Rule 1. I think that's immediately. It doesn't have to be straight in the first 10 seconds or anything. But yeah, this is the moment where they need to be pulling off their best kickoff strategies. Heck, if you wanted to keep it secret, right now is the right time to take it out of the vault, dust stuff, and say, okay, we're gonna go for something crazy, but because we need an advantage right now from the very beginning. Because Rule 1 just doesn't seem to be. It's not even that they cannot chase right now their opposition. They just cannot.
Well, look, if Rule 1 are going to get any rub of the green, they have got it. We are enjoying a bit of a technical pause, and so for them at least, Jam, another moment to breathe, another moment to try and reassess where things are going wrong. Or maybe we should again be heaping praise on Falcons and saying where everything is going right. That one goal, that breakthrough goal, that difference maker of a goal in game number 3 was made through 2 players on the same wavelength, communicating and putting together a play that, simply put, Rule 1 couldn't deal with. That's, oh my goodness, Mosin, you've got to score that. You've got to score that, and Killiers is going to try and put that right, but by that time there's already 3 players swarming him. Rule 1 with a gift of an opening goal, and they squander it.
Oh, how about this angle? Was looking for it. Killer's I would have been incredibly worried for Rule 1 if this would have continued. Again, conversion rate was struggling, but finally breaking down that drought in goals. Drought. What's the word I'm looking for?
It's a drought in goals.
Drought in goals. Okay, we'll take that. Doubting myself. Rule 1 finally can stop doubting themselves, as they've scored their first opener. Now the whole game in front of them. Easier said than done to stave off Falcons on their form right now.
So that's a good start, but unfortunately for Rule 1, it is a start that has appeared within the first minute. Still plenty of time for the Falcons, and they win a pretty crucial challenge here. Mosin does well to clean up the mess, and love the transitional play here through Killiers, though he's going to miss out on the potential dunk on O'Khalid. Mosin towards the net, actually manages to hit the woodwork. I'm not sure if Falcons knew how close that was going to be. Killiers once again moving forward, striding forward with pace. There's Mosin lying in wait, and TRK going to be dunked by Mosin. Killiers quick on the scene. But lovely work from O'Khalid. Roas top of the box. Ahmed goes up, backboard, and Falcons are scrambling, but they do get it away.
There's still not an immediate conversion of these setups by Rule 1, but the thing is they're still continuing getting them. Previously, they were getting chances but could not convert them. Right now, they're continue getting the chances, and if they can get a fix their shooting, it might be trouble for the opposition. Falcons just giving the Rule 1 just a tad more time that is needed, and it's hard to stop. It's Rule 1 after all.
Ahmad. Oh, bit of a misread there, actually, and Roas he was able to get a piece of it. Not that it did much good. Falcons past the halfway line again, but in general, the play, the passing plays and the momentum from Rule 1 looking a lot more positive and proactive. Maybe Falcons letting their foot off the gas a little bit. Of course, it was just the 1 goal. They did spurn a number of chances that could have made the scoreline a lot more ugly in game number 3. And Roas from square 1 avoids Ahmad, but they're not able to avoid TRK. And my goodness me, that was one mistake from Rule 1, and TRK punished them.
Ahmad have been trying to chase somebody off the net for a really long period of time now. He actually wasn't even chasing anybody. Positioning Babazin was not the one that he was really working for. It allowed him to challenge the initial one, but not to follow up. We're also getting some interesting stats on the field. I wish we knew what they were saying, because TRK, I'm assuming 491 shots, perhaps? Shots per game. Let me quickly check. That actually sounds very crazy for a shot number, so let me just bring that number up as we're continuing on. Falcons did not allow Rule 1 to continue with that lead, and this still might yet to be a sweep.
2 minutes, 15 seconds left for one of these two teams to break the deadlock again. Falcons, the form that they've been in this grand finals, you bet it would be them. Roas denied away by Khalid. Lovely back pass from Khalid. Just gets it away from the danger zone. Mosin over the top of one. Khalid on the backboard sideways. There's Mosin again. Skywards it goes. Khalid reacts best. Khalid's going sideways. Lovely work here to get it to Mosin. Lovely communication, but are they going to be able to get a lovely goal at the end of it? Well, it ends up with Ahmad. Backboard, down it comes via Khalid. Oh, a bit of a kerfuffle, a bit of a scuffle. Everyone looking at each other saying who's going to take responsibility. It ends up being Roas who brings it away to the midfield line. Scary for Rule 1.
This is a problem, but also sort of a blessing. Nobody takes a risk. A pop shot by Ketters straight on target, and again, the on target is exactly what Rule 1 has, but not exactly what conversion. 1-2, Khalid twice. It goes absolutely out versus everyone. Khalid versus the world, and Khalid still manages to win.
Well, it's a lovely 1-2, but it's all about that double. It's all about the double tap right in front of net. Poor challenge stance from the Rule 1 defense, and Khalid has turned the game on its head with an assist from TRK with that opening goal for the Falcons account. Game number 4, not looking any better with 1 minute to go now than any of the games prior for Rule 1. They've got 60 seconds to save themselves from an embarrassing defeat.
It could be enough, but it's Falcons right now with limited control of the ball. This is not going high enough. Mazen sends it to the side, but either there needed to be a player or there needed to be a better follow-up touches by Rule 1. They're getting to the ball, but then what? Office shot by Ahmed, but right now they're very comfortable just keeping the ball on the Rule side of the field because they cannot score if it's right there in the orange side. And Khalid, with any sort of block that he tries to make, Rule 1 again, take the tiniest bit of possession, take the touch on the ball, and then there's just no exact path that they will bring it into the net. They are being intercepted, blocked, and just stopped any old side of the way. Where is the playbook? I want to see the playbook. Is there even a playbook for Rule 1 at this point?
Listen, folks.
Chances?
There is a chance, but it's well dealt with. There's 3 players in net. It's thrown over to the other side. Listen, the MENA bestiary only has one type of animal. It's called the Falcons, and there's a reason why they are the sole occupants. They are not just champions yet again. They are rule breakers. Falcons denying the form book to walk away as Winter Open victors.
There's only one rule in MENA, and that is Falcons are the champions, that Ahmad, Khalid, and TRK are the best, and right here on the field they prove it once again. After a tough series versus Cola, we thought Falcons are perhaps not on the form, but perhaps it's Cola who are on incredible form and barely did not get a win over Falcons themselves, and we thought Rule 1 is going to sweep it. But I wonder just how many results there were of a team sweeping their opposition, just like Rule 1 swept Vision Esports and then being swept themselves in a situation like this, playoffs of a regional major. I don't think that happens that often, and it's such a turnaround, but once again, it shows and proves the quality of Falcons. They haven't lost a single bit of it.
It's a one-team region. Once again, we were so excited, I think, at the beginning of the full split to see KRN deposing the unbeatables. But actually, what the Falcons have gone away and done, Jam, is arguably more impressive than anything we've seen them done previously. They're finally seeing genuine competition in their own region, and they raise their game once more. They change their game entirely. Again, Team Secret-esque in some of those performances. It's going to fill Danny's heart with joy to see such accomplished defending from a team that is most well known for their attacking, and they are certainly going to be attacking the Winter Cup with that same vigor, I would imagine. Of course, the way this works is you're invited to that cup if you've got enough split points to your name, and that is most certainly what the Falcons have, along with Rule 1, Empty, Vision, Twisted Minds, Cola securing their place there as well, Troubles, all of the names and faces that we expect to see in the playoff bracket, Jam, they are there once again.
Yeah, right now in this particular Winter Open, we did not see any close qualifier teams make it past the first round of the playoffs. So It is, yeah, we're just seeing the same sort of folks. But let's see how the playoffs have happened over 3 days, literally, as we have started on Thursday for round 1 for the playoffs. The best teams in the groups, that includes Falcons and Rule 1, started their round with quarterfinals, and you could see their path versus Arrows, versus Cola, and finally versus Rule 1. You would think it's going to get tougher for Falcons coming through. Doesn't seem like it was. They just did not notice their opposition. Rule 1 still has a lot of work to do, no matter how hard they work on the previous games, no matter how great they look. Falcons just have an upper hand on it.
And let's just confirm those split points for you then. Of course, the all-deciding factor as to whether you actually end up auto-qualified for the Winter Cup, or if you have to go through the closed qualifier again. Sitting pretty, sitting on top. Falcons by a clear 4 from Rule 1. Shout out to the likes of Cola, Vision, Arrows, Empty, Troubles, Twisted Minds. They all don't have to worry about that closed qualifier anymore. They know that they themselves are locked in. Good for them. I'm glad. But Team Falcons, once again, Jam, showing that they really do rule the roost in this particular part of the world. For Rule 1 to not just go 4-0 in the semifinals, but 4-0 in the quarters as well, then to lose 4 on the bounce, it is an ominous sign that the Falcons aren't just content with being the best in the region. They will continue to press forward. I know we were talking about their ages earlier, about maybe they're going to go the way of Vitality. Well, it feels like they're going the way of Vitality turns Solary, where actually we're starting to see a very different style of gameplay that works even better than what we've seen previously.
Fine wine, fine cheese. That's what Falcons are resembling right now. And it's still, the region is still not without a tricks up their sleeve. Again, it was Rule 1 who have defeated Falcons in the Fall Open last split. It has been absolutely tremendous, and this region still keeps us guessing. It keeps everybody guessing. And reminder, viewers thought that quite overwhelmingly Rule 1 is going to take it, and I do not blame them. But the Falcons once again proved that they are the number one in the region, and I wouldn't be surprised if they might be representing. I mean, they pretty much should be representing the region during the Winter Major, but there's 2 more regionals. Everything still can change, and I will be very happy to see how it goes, as the Rocket is going to continue providing the coverage for the final day for both the Middle East and North Africa, as well as South America. And I believe that's where we're going to meet up next for those broadcasts. But Relic, it has been quite a day. We've seen 4 matches, 4 very different matches, I suppose. Then again, Rule 1 have been both on the side of sweep and being swept, so I suppose it has been absolutely different. So yeah, this is what we went through. We thought this was going to be a close match at the very beginning. It wasn't. Then I thought it's not going to be a close match. It was an incredibly close match. And then I thought it's not going to be a close match, but for a different team, everything, all of my predictions out the window.
I really think that today has been an excellent case study in clutch factor, because Rule 1 didn't have it. Falcons did, navigating themselves through a rambunctious Cola squad who were so eager to find themselves in a first grand final for themselves, and yet not able to get it over the finish line, and then taking that clutch factor, taking what they had learned from that series and applying it to the series thereafter. Rule 1 were caught out, and they certainly are going to have lots of lessons to learn from this as well, albeit a bit too late.
Well, any sort of lesson that they can take in the future will be grand. I'm not sure what else is there to teach them, though, besides just experience. But by no doubt, they have been grinding the game. They came into the league when they could and tried to take it by storm, and they've thrown some stuff around. Again, thrown Falcons off their throne, and then it just wasn't so. At least right now, I'm very excited to see what's going to happening in the upcoming regional, as well as just moving on forward for this region. Middle East is on display for everybody, so I think it only remains for us to thank everybody who has been watching, playing, as well as our wonderful set of casters. We've started with Bacon and Psycho on this broadcast. Spooks and Danny Boy have been on here before us for the second semifinal, and Relic, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here as always. Benzo has been producing and bringing us the beautiful pictures, and we'll shout out to Blonde Monkey as well for just being the lovely bloke that he is, providing us support for the region as a whole. Anything before we close down and go and watch some North American action?
Nope. Enjoy. Have a good one. Lovely.
Good night, everybody. We'll see you next on The Rocket for the SAM Winter Open. Already, it's going to be the Winter Cup. All the words. Most importantly, follow the channel. Catch us right here for the next English broadcast of RLCS. We'll see you there.